Peace and blessings to everyone. My name is Lester Young. I'm a formerly incarcerated person. And what that means is, at the age of 19 years old, I was sentenced to life in prison for killing someone over a drug dispute. Something that to this very day, I live with the regret and the guilt of knowing that my hands, my actions led to someone's death. But most importantly, the grief of a family. To this day, 25 years, 30 years later, this family still grieves the loss of their loved one. So while I was in prison, I made a commitment to myself that I needed to change my actions, because I knew that my actions not only harmed me, but it harmed so many people. I made the investment into doing everything within my ability to become a better person. It was not just about me. It was about how I can honor the life of someone that I've taken. Knowing that that person would never come back to this earth, how could I honor them? And by honoring them, I made this commitment to live a life of redemption. Every day of my life for those 22 years in prison was committed to redemption. And that redemption looked like me taking the time as a person who was in prison, reading at a 7th grade level of education. I made the commitment to increase my education because I realized that was one of the pitfalls of me making bad choices, a lack of education. So I made this commitment to educate myself, and I celebrated the win when I got my GED. What that meant is that once I got my GED, I took that and I began educating other individuals that were currently incarcerated with me about the power of education, but most importantly, taking ownership for the actions in which we have caused to our community and to our society. So for about 18 years, I taught inside of the prisons about redemption. And it was all about that promise I made to my victim in 1994, one night sitting in my prison cell. The spirit of my victim came into the cell, and we had a spiritual conversation where I cried, and I cried in a fetal position for hours, begging him to forgive me for that action which I caused. And with that within minutes or within hours, I can't even remember the time, and like time just passed by. But I remember that morning I woke up with a newfound understanding of what my life was going to be inside of prison. I no longer saw prison as a place of punishment for me. I saw it as an opportunity for me to make my life better. And because of that commitment I made while in prison, I was able to make parole after serving 22 years and 5 months in prison. But when I walked out of that prison, I never forgot the conversation and the promise I made with my victim. And that was, I would live my life of redemption. And I would do everything within my power to make sure that I help save someone else from the pain that I've caused his family, but caused another family as well. So 6 years later, I've been free since 2015, and I've been committed to redemption because I don't want to see another family go through the pain in which I have caused other families to experience by my drug dealing, and then most unfortunately, the loss of a loved one. So I encourage people to know that there's redemption. No matter the mistakes in which you have made in your life, there's redemption, that you can still press through your challenges in life. My challenge to this very day until I leave this earth, well, how can I continue to live my life in a way to honor my victim? You may not be experiencing the same thing which I've experienced, but if you take nothing else from my story, I hope that you'll be able to understand that no matter what happens to you in life, that is not about what happens to you, it's how you choose to respond to it. I chose to respond to this situation by taking this bad decision that I made and turning it into something good, I hope. And hopefully the day when I leave this earth and I do get a chance to have that face-to-face meeting with my victim, hopefully I will hear the words forgiveness, not a word of well done, but I forgive you, that I can be able to find true redemption after all of this in which I've done in my life. With that being said, as I said, no matter what happens to you in life, be inspired to move forward, because there's something greater in the midst of your darkest days. There's a seed of potential and opportunity for you to connect to something greater than you. Be blessed.